We'll turn now to our phase plane analysis, but to get phase plane graphs, we're really going to need to use technology. And I looked at every single phase plane grapher that I could find. None of them were perfect, but I think the one at Wolfram Alpha will be the best for this class. I've put a link here in the notes, but it's probably easiest to just Google Wolfram Alpha phase plane. And if you do that, the first result should be phase plane free mathematics widget. So we'll go there, and we get this. Now what we want to do with this is get the phase plane portrait, in other words, graphs of solutions to the linear system dx1 dt equals 2x1 plus 3x2, and dx2 dt equals x1 minus x2. Notice that Wolfram Alpha is going to call these two variables x and y. We'll go to the box for equation 1 and get rid of what they've got in there and put in 2x plus 3y. Then we'll go to the second equation box, the equation 2 box, get rid of what they've got in there, and type in x minus y. Now, we also need to specify, which part of the plane we're graphing. How far should the x's go? How far should the y's go? And I found that going from -3 to 3 was pretty good for this one, so I'm going to put in -3, 3. Don't put parentheses around the interval because you'll get an error message. And I found doing -3 to 3 on the y-axis was also good. So I put in those, and now we're going to click Submit. And here's our phase plane portrait. Now we're going to need to get these into a document of some sort. I'm going to be using Word. And what I found is when I did copy image and tried to paste it into my Word document, it didn't work. So what did work for me was choosing Save Image As. Let's see, where would that be? So I'm going to go to Math 356 for me. I've got a lectures folder, Chapter 10, Phase Plane Analysis. Now I like, if I'm going to be saving a lot of images or using a lot of images, I like to create a images subfolder, which I see I forgot to do before. So I'm just going to select New Folder, call it Images. And now I need to select a name for my image. I'm not just going to call it Download. I'm going to call it Phase Plane. But I'm going to be saving a lot of phase plane images in this folder, so I better specify which one it is. And I'm just going to specify it using what we typed into the equation boxes. So this was 2x plus 3y and x minus y. And I will save that there. Now going to my Word document, I will do Insert, Picture, Picture from File, and I need to navigate to that folder, Lectures, Chapter 10, Phase Plane Analysis, Images, and there it is. Let's see, and this is a little small for me to see, so I'm going to make it a little bigger. That's probably all the room we have on this page. But what exactly are we looking at here? what Wolfram Alpha has given us is a graph of several solutions to our system of differential equations. Remember, there's infinitely many solutions to any system, and you zero in on a particular solution by applying an initial condition. So each of these curves corresponds to a particular solution. For example, this one. Corresponds to some initial condition. I don't know what it is, but let's just say, how about x at time 0 is AB? And just to grab another one, how about this one? That would correspond to a different initial condition. I'll just call that CD. So each curve is a solution corresponding to a particular initial condition. And what are these arrows? Well, they show us the direction that time is moving. So if you were to pick a single curve, I'm going to pick this one up here, and if you were to put 2 dots on it, because the arrows on this curve are going that way, what I know is that this dot is occurring at an earlier time as compared to this dot, which is occurring at a later time. We'll get more into what these curves and the graph tells us, but for now, that's the basics. Before we get into doing analysis with these, now that we know how to get them, let's give you a chance to make sure you're going to be able to get these phase plane portraits, or also called phase plane graphs. So before you watch the next video, please go to Wolfram Alpha and get the phase plane portrait for the system dx1 dt equals x1 minus 2x2 and dx2 dt equals x1 plus x2. Here's what you should get. It should look like a spiral. And big bonus, if you can also paste it into a document. Do that if you have time right now. If you don't have time right now, that's okay, but we will be doing this, so you'll need to be able to paste these into documents.